up, Tzu Chi volunteers from the United States carried out a project in Haiti's Cap-Hatien to help local residents. We visit the Magayon Elementary School in the Philippines, which was recently rebuilt by the Tzu Chi Foundation. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Nell. Thank you for joining us. Although Haiti has experienced waves of political instability over the years, Tzu Chi's presence in the country has not faltered. Currently, volunteers from the United States have initiated a poverty alleviation project in Cap-Hatien, which includes food distributions as well as launching cash reward programs in local communities. The first food distribution took place on December 13th, where 1,700 food parcels were distributed to 5 Catholic communities in Cap-Hatien.
To address the food shortage in Cap-Hatien, after numerous assessments, Tzu Chi volunteers from the United States decided to provide 1,700 food parcels to 5 Catholic districts in Cap-Hatien.
We want the residents to receive the food parcels right away, so we actually purchased everything here in Cap-Hatien. Not only are we helping boost the local economy, the food can reach the hands of the needy much more quickly.
Each food parcel contains a 25-kilogram bag of rice, 10 kilograms of red beans, 10 kilograms of cornmeal, and 1 liter of cooking oil. The food provisions are enough to last a family of 5 for 1 month.
We will distribute the food we received today to our community. As Christmas is just around the corner, this aid can help families get ready for the holidays.
Apart from the food distribution, volunteers actually have another mission.
This is the beginning of a future filled with hope. Next week, on December 25th, we will launch cash for work programs locally. We have short, mid, and long-term plans, which we will be implementing in the near future. We hope that these projects will benefit residents of Cap-Hatien in the long run.
Volunteers take photos of local residents to make name tags in preparation for the Cash for Work program in Blue Hills.
Let us recycle plastic bags.
Inside the small church, Father Valan and Tzu Chi volunteers explain the purpose and ideals behind Tzu Chi's Cash for Work program.
The purpose of the Cash for Work program is twofold. On the one hand, it allows residents to address the problems within their community and work towards improving it. For instance, they shouldn't litter or discard plastic bags. Secondly, it gives them an opportunity to work for a wage.
Before, I felt like there was nothing we could do here, but I am happy to see that there are some changes taking place here now.
Blue Hills is a swampland, so the water level rises every time it rains. Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help us, so we want to extend our thanks to them and everyone else that come to our aid.
As the spiritual leader of Blue Hills, Father Valan, together with Tzu Chi volunteers, hopes to provide a future filled with hope and optimism for residents of this community.
Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers in Lesotho conducted aid distributions at 4 different farming villages, helping a total of 810 households. Besides handing out bags of rice and blankets, volunteers also introduced the Buddhist NGO's philosophy to locals. But first, we go to Indonesia, where Tzu Chi volunteers in Medan handed out 48 tons of rice to 2,400 impoverished families. Among those waiting for their turn to receive Tzu Chi's rice, a 73-year-old Rapini who is unable to carry her 20-kilogram bag of rice home. Thankfully, a volunteer reached out with a helping hand.
I have been living in hardship since young and can barely manage to put food on the table. Right now, I make ends meet with a small business at home. This bag of rice is going to help me greatly.
As 2014 is coming to an end, Tzu Chi volunteers in Medan, Indonesia are here at the village in Padang Quiz to hold a rice distribution. This time, 2,400 impoverished families received Tzu Chi's aid.
Those who came to receive Tzu Chi's rice are needy families. Prior to the distribution, we teamed up with Tzu Chi volunteers and visited their households. With Tzu Chi's 20-kilogram bag of rice, these families won't have to spend money on rice.
despite the number of people at the distribution. Through the collective effort of Tzu Chi volunteers and members of the local student organization, the distribution went off without a hitch.
My house was destroyed by an earthquake. After my husband passed away, I moved back to Padang. Right now, I live in a rented property all by myself and am extremely happy to receive Tzu Chi's rice.
Volunteers hope Tzu Chi's rice distribution can inspire local youngsters to contribute their share to help their fellow citizens and spread the love far and wide. People with beautiful smiles and beautiful voices. The African country of Lesotho is filled with moving stories.
We are from a large-scale charity organization called Tzu Chi.
Today, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding aid distributions at the farming villages of Malabing, Halasata, Mazino, and Mafaten Van Roy. In just one day, 1,620 bags of rice and 810 blankets were handed out. Upon receiving the love from Taiwan, many aid recipients broke into song and dance. As Thailand celebrated Father's Day on December 5th, we bring you the inspirational story of Sawat in Samut Prakan province, who has been caring for his mentally disabled daughter alone for 20 years. But first, the annual Tzu Chi winter relief distribution in the country was successfully carried out over the weekend in Chiang Mai to the north, thanks to the efforts of the public and volunteers.
On the streets of Thailand, Tzu Chi volunteers are warmly received as they canvass for donations.
It's wonderful that you're giving out comforters and jackets to help the poor. I fully support you.
We are canvassing donations from the public to pull everyone's love together to help warm the hearts of the less fortunate.
The volunteers are getting ready for the annual winter relief distribution. Another team heads over to the comforter factory.
We are here to receive our goods. A total of 6,000 of them are going to Chiang Mai.
A total of 6,000 comforters, 13,300 winter jackets, and 21,000 pairs of socks are sent to the center of the distribution, the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School.
I'm very grateful that the teachers and students' parents are helping us carry the supplies. On the 13th and 14th, the supplies will be handed out to those in need.
I do my chores in the morning and then head out to sell in the afternoon.
Back down south at Samut Prakan province, 61-year-old Sawat is a Tzu Chi care recipient. His wife passed away when his mentally disabled daughter was 7 years old. This is how Sawat has been supporting himself and his daughter for the past 2 decades.
Because my daughter is not well. As her father, I will never abandon her. I will do the best that I can to care for her.
2 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteers were notified of this family in need. Besides providing subsidies periodically, the volunteers also visit them regularly. Sawat makes sure his daughter understands the meaning of cherishing her blessings.
Do you know? Every grain of rice is a blessing for us. So next time, you have to cherish each grain, okay?
Besides caring for his daughter, Sawat also spends some time every month volunteering with Tzu Chi.
I'm very happy serving as a volunteer. Since the Tzu Chi volunteers have helped me, I'm now reciprocating and accumulating merits on behalf of my daughter.
Sawat happily helps with cleaning the streets and bathing paralyzed care recipients or wherever else he is needed.
When I'm at home during the daytime, I like to find something to do. So if I have a chance to help others, I will do my best to seize every opportunity to do so.
Thanks to the efforts of Tzu Chi volunteers, the needy in Thailand, no matter where they are, can always find a helping hand and a loving embrace.
After Cyclone Nargis devastated Myanmar in 2008, Tzu Chi arrived to help the survivors recover. To improvise production in the country, in 2010, the Buddhist NGO handed out quality rice seedlings to farmers. This year, the Buddhist NGO even decided to help rebuild 12 schools in the remote township of Tianying. Next, we visit the recently completed Bokyong High School to see how Tzu Chi's assistance opened doors to a brighter future for students. The sound of reading coming from dilapidated classrooms. This is the scene at the Bogyo High School in Tianying Township, Yangon Province. Due to a termite infestation, many classrooms are in bad shape. Furthermore, with a wall separating the classrooms, students have a hard time focusing on their lecture.
During the monsoon season, we can hardly hear our teacher. The ceiling leaks whenever it rains, so 5 people have to share a row of chairs to prevent other classmates from getting wet. It is very crowded inside the classrooms.
We need to fight for a seat. It gets really warm when we sit too close to each other. We always end up fighting when we push each other.
Starting in March 2014, the Tzu Chi Foundation began to rebuild 12 schools in the remote township of Tianying.
I want our students to understand that they have to cherish and keep their new classrooms clean. By doing so, future students will always keep the classrooms clean and tidy as well.
As soon as the classrooms are completed, students happily rolled up their sleeves to move in tables and chairs. Thanks to Tzu Chi, students can continue their education free from worries and dream big. Magayon Elementary School of the Philippines, Compostela Valley, was severely damaged by Typhoon Bopha back in 2012. But thanks to Tzu Chi's assistance, the school has recently been rebuilt. To thank Tzu Chi's kindness, the faculty and students' parents promised to cherish the new school.
When going to school becomes fun, when praying becomes a habit, and proper becomes a responsibility. Everyone at the Magayon Elementary School of Philippines, Compostela Valley, knows this is how they should cherish their blessings.
We are all really surprised that Tzu Chi has helped us build such a nice school.
My child is in the second grade. He will continue to study here for many more years. So that's why we have come to help maintain the cleanliness of the campus. As well, some of the tasks are more laborious and not suitable for young children.
Hindi pa nila kaya, ma'am. Kasi maliit pa.
Bawal daw
We shouldn't litter or damage any part of the school. I will help my homeroom teacher keep our classroom neat and clean.
sulatan ang mga dingding.
The school was just recently rebuilt with Tzu Chi's assistance after being severely damaged by Typhoon Bofa in 2012. The parents are glad that their children can continue their schooling, while the children say this is the best Christmas present they've ever received.
Master Zheng Yan, thank you for this wonderful gift. We will surely take very good care of it.
I hope that this legacy will be handed down through generations, and this school will become a blessing not only to the Magayon folks but to the entire country.
The students happily help decorate their new classrooms and know well how to reciprocate Tzu Chi's kindness.
I will study hard, and when the volunteers revisit next year, I will surely be here to thank them again personally. Chen Sulan and her husband currently reside in Dongguan, China, where the couple runs a factory making candy. Chen is also a devoted Tzu Chi volunteer and at 8 scholarship distributions throughout Guizhou and Guangdong. Her presence and candy can be found bring a touch of sweetness to the moment.
The children there have it really tough. They don't have any candy to eat. And at night, they can see the stars through the holes in their roofs, really. My family makes these sweets, so I often hand them out to the kids I see on the road. When I give them to seniors, they refuse, saying they don't have money. But I tell them I don't want any money from them.
She is close to 70 years old. Despite her age, when she travels to Guizhou, she is usually the first person up those mountains.
Three years ago, Chen first visited Guizhou and has returned every year since.
We start off early and get back late, and those mountain roads are hard to traverse. Last June, the roads were really slick. We were pushing a cart and it kept veering off to the side. We were in tears throughout.
However, before meeting Tzu Chi, Chen went from temple to temple for answers.
My mom suddenly passed away when she was 46. I couldn't understand why and began going to temples to get answers.
She loved to visit spirit mediums.
We would visit every temple inside and ask every spirit or god for answers.
It wasn't superstition, it was like she was possessed.
Her mother's death left an ache in Chen's heart that left her lost and confused. It wasn't until she started volunteering at nursing homes that she was able to move past her loss.
They remind me of my mom. The seniors actually have it pretty rough, so I see them as my mother when I am with them.
Now, Chen Sulan is involved in Tzu Chi 7 days a week, which is hard for some in her family to understand.
Before, I really didn't understand. She would spend time looking after others. Why not spend time looking after herself? I really didn't get it.
However, Chen's commitment ultimately won over her family, and now their relationship is even sweeter.
脾气嘞？
好了很多。
以前是多不好。
没有说不好，就是比较不好。
In whatever she is interested in doing, we should support her.
In China's Fujian province, Tzu Chi volunteers have long cared for Cai Yuanyuan, a 22-year-old who suffers from an unknown illness. In the past, Cai was closed off to the world, battling the pain of her sickness with medication. However, in the years that Tzu Chi volunteers have known her, Cai has slowly opened up to take in the lessons of the Dharma.
Sitting on the side of the bed watching DaAi TV is Tzu Chi Care recipient Cai Yuanyuan of Fujian, China, who could not even sit up straight a few years ago.
Of course, with the help of Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, my mood has been lifted and the pain associated with my illness has also decreased.
The 22-year-old care recipient takes medication to ease the pain of an unknown illness that has deformed her face and legs. However, under the companionship of the Tzu Chi volunteers, Cai has taken the Dharma into her heart and found another way to deal with the pain.
I'm more outgoing now and do not shy away from people. I'm much happier. I don't hold on to worries and no longer blame the world for my problems.
No longer down on herself, Cai has taken up handcrafts to help her mother make ends meet. While thanking her mother for raising her all these years, Cai sheds tears of gratitude.
Mom, thank you for taking care of me.
With Tzu Chi by her side, Cai Yuanyuan has learned bravery and gratitude, useful lessons that will stay with her for life.
To celebrate the end of the year and welcome in the new year, Tzu Chi volunteers in the African country of Mozambique held a year-end blessing ceremony. Although not Buddhist by nature, the local volunteers nonetheless embraced Tzu Chi's Buddhist practices and marked the occasion like the rest of their counterparts.
With each step, participants of Mozambique's year-end blessing ceremony are firm in celebrating this occasion, upholding Buddha in their hearts.
Aki, Master!
After an explanation of the details of Tzu Chi's red envelope of blessing and wisdom, each participant is given their own auspicious gift. Naturally outgoing, once a song is started by one person, everyone else joins in to express their joy. Not only harmonizing their voices, these Mozambicans also send out their collective love to the one they love in Taiwan.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of the show, where teachings of the Far East University in Tainan visited a local nursing home. During their visit, students sang oldies and gave seniors massages. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.